Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can we start the lecture? Meanwhile, the other students will also join, okay? So as I was discussing yesterday, that the first part of that your content, syllabus content is the probability. And when we start the probability, the preliminary idea is given by the set theory, okay? In the when we started the discrete mathematics structure, then also we started with the set theory. So first lecture we are going to take as a preliminary idea about the set theory. We all have studied about it in the lower standard as well as in the last semester as also. So those things we are going to repeat once, and then we will move forward towards the probability distribution, probability theory, and the classical approach of probability along with the conditional probability, addition law, multiplication law plus Bayes theorem. Okay. So firstly, before starting the classical approach of the probability, we are going to see what is the meaning of the set and their set operations. Okay, that is a part of our syllabus. So let's start that. Can you see the PPTs? Are you able to see the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So this lecture will give us the basic concept or the basic introduction about the set theory. The first thing always when we start the set theory, we always define the definition. Okay, what is set? In a simple language, we always say any group of the element is known as the set. But this is always a query that each group of element is a set, whether each group is a set or not. So exact definition, what we always see in the mathematics, the set is basically it is a collection of the well-defined objects. Well-defined in the set, there should be some similarity or some objective of those collection of the sets. And if it can be finite and infinite also, if the number of the elements are finite in a set, then we say that is a finite set. And if the number of the elements in the set is infinite, then we say that is the infinite set. And how we write it, we always define the set in the form of these curly brackets, and each element is distinct by a comma. Okay, if we have two elements in a set 0 and 1, then we write s is equals to bracket curly bracket 0 comma 1. S be the set of these are the examples given to you for the reference. That is, S be the set of words in the dictionary. S is equals to 5. If it is S equals to 5, that is known as the empty set. So always remember, if we are saying only, if we are just mentioning the curly bracket, there is no any element. It is known as the empty set. Okay. So and even you may write it as equals to 5 as well. Okay? And if s is equals to 2 a cat 0 1, so these are the examples of the sets given to us. Okay, even in a set we may have a different cosets also, small sets, right? So in those cases we say these cosets are the elements of the sets. Here you may just see in the fourth example one small bracket, within that we have two elements 0 and 1. So that is also the part, this is also one of the element of the set. So and one more thing that I always tell you, if you have a repeated elements in a set, which is not allowed in a set. So always remember, if you have a repeated element in the set, please write it in a proper way. If there are two elements which are repeating, write it only once. Like here you can see, if you have an set 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 3, so what we are saying, as per the first side we can see here there are four elements. No, but we have to firstly write it's in a proper way. The element should not be repeated, like 1 comma 2 comma 3. So in that case, elements, the distinct elements are the 3. Okay. And if we want to allow the repeats, we can use a related object called a multiset. तो वो एक अलग direction हो जाता है set theory का. But here we are taking only those sets in which we will be taking only the elements which are coming only once. If it is coming twice, then we are supposed to make it in a proper way, and then only we will be able to find the number of the elements. The notation of the set. We will usually denote a set of by a capital letter. Okay, and the elements we always use by the small letter. So always remember, when a capital letter is given, it means that is showing the set, notation of a set. And if it is a small letter we are using, then it means that is the element of a set. So here if small x is an element in A, then we write x belongs to A. Some commonly used set जो हम मैथमेटिक्स में यूज करते हैं, काउंटिंग प्रिंसिपल्स जो हम पढ़ते हैं वहां भी यूज करते हैं, लाइक दी and the natural numbers, the set of the natural numbers, z the set of integers, q the rational numbers like a by b, where a and b belongs to the set of integers but b should not be equal to 0. R the set of real numbers, C the complex numbers, like the elements would be like A plus B iota, where A and B belongs to the set of R real numbers. So what are these things? These are the general mathematical sets. So always whenever in the numerical problem it's given to us like these symbols N, Z, Q, R, C, so it is known to us that these belonging to these sets, these notations are belonging to some particular sets, right? Even in some of the books the integers also given as a notation given to you as I, capital I. So that is also very known to the set of integers. Okay, even sometimes they use I plus or Z plus. It means the positive integers or the non-negative integers. And if it is written Z minus, it means that is the only the negative integers we are using. And we should be very clear what we mean by sets, as that q, if I'm writing q greater than equals to 0, r less than equals to 0, that means that should be clear to us. If I'm writing q is greater than 0 or r is less than equals to 0 or z is greater than equals to 0, so it means if I'm saying z is greater than equals to 0, it means all those elements we are going to take from the integer set which are greater than equals to 0. So even not only the set z is a set, even if I write the elements which are greater than equals to 0 in the z, that also again a set. Okay, of course we can say that is the subset of the main parent set, that is the set of integers. Even in the vertical lines means such that or where we can use a colon for this, commas are read as and there are often multiple ways to describe a set. जो आप suppose कई बार हम जब roots निकालते हैं equations के, we can have a multiple roots. So if I write x belongs to r, where x square minus 5x plus c equals to 0, so that can also be written as x belongs to r, where x square minus 5x equals to minus 6. So by many of the way you can describe a single set. Okay, you let me know what are the two methods for describing the set, for expressing the set. What are the two methods? Can anyone tell me?
Ma'am, roster form and set builder
What are
form.
the two methods? I mentioned in my previous semester also when I started the set theory. What are the two methodologies to describe the set? Have you all
Ma'am,
have
roster.
studied about it? Let me know. Any one of you may answer.
Ma'am, roster and set builder form.
Absolutely right. What we do? What is the difference between these two? Anyone can tell me? What is the difference between the roster and set builder? Hmm?
roster में एक एक करके define the elements and set builder you
One by one. Please tell me your name and then start. Yes.
Ma'am, Vishesh, I'm speaking Vishesh. So roster form is when each and every element of the set is shown individually, while in the formula, the function one, we see a function that follows and gives us the element of the set for every it follows the function and gives us the element of the certain set.
Absolutely right. Other one also want to ask something. एक student को और भी reply करना था. Yes, please tell me. There was one more student who wants to reply. Please. Yes.
I was saying that like the same thing. In roster form, you define and write each element individually. However, in the set builder form, you define a criteria or a relation through which the elements belong to the set.
Right. So can we convert one method to the another one?
Ma'am, if it's an infinite set, then set builder form cannot be converted to the roster form. But if it's a finite set, then yes, you can convert.
No, I'm just asking the way of expressing, right? This is what? This is the methods through which we can describe a set. So can we write a single set by using two methodology? Can we express a set by using both of the methodology? Can we express?
Yes, ma'am. I don't think there is.
Yes, we can.
I mean, you should. Yeah.
Yes,
any set can be expressed.
Yes, of course, we can express. Any set can be expressed by both of the methodologies. And even not only that, even we have multiple ways to describe. As I'm saying here in this PPT also, we have multiple ways to describe. Not only one way. Set builder में भी आपके पास कई ways हो सकते हैं, कई तरीके से आप describe कर सकते हैं ना. So these are the two very usual methods or the way of describing set builder and the roster methodologies. Thank you. As I was mentioning, infinite and finite set. If the number of the elements in a set is finite, then we say this is finite set. And if the number of the sets are infinite, that is known as the infinite set. And if you remember, what is cardinality? Cardinality. Anyone can reply. Please tell me your name and then start. Anyone? Cardinality बताओ क्या होता है? हमने पढ़ा है ना cardinality? Last semester में बहुत use किया था.
Ma'am, yes, I think it is the number of elements of the set.
Number of the elements in a set. Then what is order of a set?
Order be the highest power of the set, I guess.
No. Anyone else? Please tell me. Please have a discussion because these all the things we have studied. So we are not taking any test. हम कोई test नहीं ले रहे हैं. हम सिर्फ discussion कर रहे हैं. Anyone can raise your hand and then reply. Cardinality.
Finite set के लिए order हो गया number of elements.
Okay. Good.
और infinite set के लिए infinite होगा.
So as these things I told you in the last semester, cardinality जो हमने inclusion exclusion principle पढ़ा था, तब भी हमने cardinality define करी थी, right? Basically, cardinality and order both are the same, right? The number of the element in a set is called the cardinality. Sometimes we use the word order. Okay, so both the things are same. If this is finite, तो हम कहते हैं the order is finite. If it is infinite, then we say this is the infinite ordered set, right? So cardinality basically a number. And it is denoted by the argument of a. हम ऐसा भी note करते हैं, कई बार order of a भी लिखते हैं, कई बार an a भी लिखते हैं. So these are the different ways of to express the cardinality. आप कुछ books में आपको an a मिलेगा, कुछ में o a मिलेगा, order of a मिलेगा, कुछ में argument मिलेगा, ना? So आपको उसका logic समझ में आना चाहिए केवल. बाकी आपका जो symbolic form है, it may differ in each books. Okay. So cardinality basically the order of the element, and if it is finite, then we may write a is finite, mod of a is finite, and if it is infinite, जैसे हम set of integers देखते हैं, set of natural numbers देखते हैं, तो हम क्या कहते हैं? These are the infinite set. It means cardinality is infinite. Is it clear now? Both are same, cardinality and the order of a set. Okay. Let A and B are the two sets. We say that A is a subset of B if and only if every element of A is an element of B. So that is the case of the set and subset. हम जब set हम तभी कहेंगे किसी भी subset को जब सारे elements उसके exist करें दूसरे set में. And in that case we say B is the superset of A. हम equal to इसलिए एक जो equal वाला line है वो हमेशा mention करते हैं because we say A because if A is equals to B, B cases B होगा तो भी हम कहेंगे that is A is the subset of B. Even in that case we say B is the subset of A also. So that's why if both the sets are equal, elements are same, order is same, elements are same, then A equals to B means A is the subset of B and B is the subset of A. So that's why whenever we use the term subset, it means both the symbols we use, okay, underline. Basic set operations. The intersection of a set A and B is the set of elements in both A and B denoted A intersection B. It means X such that X belongs to A and X belongs to B. Okay, two sets are disjoint if they have no elements in common, and in that case we write A intersection B equals to 5. तो हम क्या कहते हैं? Please try to understand. When we say A is the set, B is the set, it means A intersection B is again a set, A union B is the set. If A intersection B is 5, okay, so what we say? That is a null set or there is no element A intersection 5. और हम कह सकते हैं order of A intersection B become 0 because there is no element. The union of sets A and B is the set of elements either A or B or denoted A union B, that is X, such that X belongs to A or X belongs to B. So here we have some examples. If these are the very basic examples for our just reminding the theory. If A has 3 elements 2, 5 and 8 and B has 3 elements 7, 5 and 22, then the intersection, the common term is 5, and A union B, it means we are supposed to collect all the elements. But always please remember, we are not supposed to make a single element twice. If it is coming in both the sets, it means like 5 is coming in both the sets. We need not to write the 5 twice. Okay, so we have to write only once. So we can say the order of the set A or the cardinality of the set A is 3, cardinality of the set B is 3, the cardinality of the set A intersection B is 1, and the cardinality of the set A union B is 5. Okay, Z union Q is equals to Q. Z intersection Q is equals to Z. Now these all are having their symbolic form. No, Z हमें पता है set of integers है, Q हमें पता है set of rational numbers है, like this. A union phi is always A for any set. Set complements. Come to the another we should say another property of the set, that is the complements. Frequently we will need the established set of all elements U under consideration, so which we call the universe. Definition: the component of a set A is the set of all elements in U that are not in A. हम हमेशा आपने देखा होगा कुछ बुक्स में A बार भी यूज करते हैं, AC यूज करते हैं ना, कुछ बुक्स में होता है A and the superscript dash. So all these meanings belong to the same thing, that is the complement, but it depends. But एक चीज आप हमेशा याद रखिएगा, when you are using a single symbol like AC, so throughout the question you are supposed to use the same symbol. If you are using A bar, then throughout the numerical problem you are supposed to use the same symbol. Okay, AC, or whether it is A power, A superscript C, A superscript dash, or A bar. Okay, so but the meaning of all those are the same. So X belongs to U such that S does not belongs to A. So if I say A equals to N is the set of natural numbers, then what is the complement of A if the universe is first U equals to Z, second U equals to Q, third U equals to R, fourth U equals to C, and fifth is U equals to N. Sometimes the complement is denoted by A bar. It should be A bar. Okay, please correct it. It should be A bar. So can we find these things easily? Right? Can we find these things? What is the complement of A if the universe is Z?
All negative numbers.
Yes, exactly. So we can like for all these examples up to 5, we are be able to find the complements of the set A. Okay. Relative complements. Sometimes we need to find the relative complements. तो हमने देखे उन relative जो complements की हम बात करते हैं. What are the relations? Exactly. First what we define like B minus A or A minus B. ना हमने last time भी इसको पढ़ा था. I am defining it again over here. For sets A and B, the complements of A relative to B is the set of elements that are in B but not in A. So whenever I am writing or somewhere it is written like B minus A, so we are supposed to include those elements X which belongs to B but does not belong to A. If it is A minus B, तो इसका जो meaning है वो just reverse हो जाएगा. It means X belongs to A but X does not belong to B. The symmetric difference of A and B is the set of elements that are in one of these sets but not the other. Mathematically it's written like A symmetric difference B. This symbol we use for the symmetric difference is equals to A minus B union B minus A, where A minus B is the complement of A relative to B and B minus A is the complement of B relative to A. The complement of A relative to B can be denoted by sometimes A dash B. तो आप इसके ऑब्लिक भी यूज करते हैं, कुछ लोग डैश भी यूज करते हैं. सो अकॉर्डिंगली वी कैन फाइंड इट. नाउ these examples are given like A minus B, B minus A. Okay, so what is A minus B in the first case? What is A minus B in the first case?
1 and 3.
1 and 3, absolutely right. What is B? Yeah, absolutely right. What is B minus A in the first case?
2 and 4.
Yeah, or what is symmetric difference of A and B?
1 3 2 4.
Is it right? What about others?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, let me know a symmetric difference of A and B. Whether symmetric difference of A and B is commutative?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Always?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So any set A and B equals to 5. So in that case, what is A minus B? This is the second exercise
A.
here. Let me see.
A
Yes.
A.
Absolutely. And what is B minus A?
5.
5.
B minus A is 5.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
A equals to R and B equals to Q. Then A minus B is?
R minus Q.
So what kind of the elements would be there? We have to just make deduce all the
Rational numbers will remain.
So like that we will be able to find these symmetric differences as well. Okay, तो हम वो भी जो भी आपका सेट दिया होता है उसके according we will be able to find. I think this concept should be clear to you. Yes, when we always study about the set theory, तो Venn diagram जो है वो सबसे पहले visualize होता है because when you started the set theory at the standard of 9th 10th, तो sets जो है वो सबसे पहले आपको कैसे बताया गया था by using the Venn diagram. This is definitely a very good interpretation of the set. Sometimes many of the problems also we can solve through it. A useful way to visualize a small number of sets and their intersection, unions and relative complements is with the Venn diagram. Cartesian product. I'm extending the set theory up to that. Cartesian product, if A and B, two sets are there, then their Cartesian product is given by A cross B, where the it is a ordered pair, right? Ordered pair means small bracket में आपको दो elements लिखने होते हैं A comma B if it is the cross product of two sets A and B, where small a belongs to the capital A and small b belongs to the capital B. When we in the last semester when we started the relation theory, before that we studied about the Cartesian product, because then after only we can and hash diagram and all. Okay, so here the cross product, it means the set of ordered pairs where first element belong the first set and the second element belong the second set. So here is given a small example. If we have the element 1, 2, 3, that is A, and B equals to 4, 5. So can we write A cross B, B cross A cross A, and so on. So what is A cross B? किस टाइप के एलिमेंट्स होंगे A cross B में? What will be there?
Ma'am, 1,4, 1,5, 2,4, 2,5, 3,4, 3,4.
Yes. And if I write B cross A?
4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3.
Okay. Let me know A cross B is equals to B cross A?
No.
No, ma'am.
No. So please correct that. यहाँ पर not equal to का not equal to का जो symbol है वो remove होके equal to जो symbolic PPT आपका यहाँ पर proper define नहीं हो रहा है. So it should be not equal to और ना. तो अब जब क्योंकि why? What is the reason कि commutative नहीं होता? What is the reason of a Cartesian product?
हम ordered रहते हैं ना pairs.
A होता है A cross B में.
That's why it is also known as the Cartesian product. आपने vector analysis में भी पढ़ा होगा Cartesian product somewhere in the physics also.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
तो वहाँ पर भी हम इस दो products पढ़ते हैं, Cartesian product and scalar product, if you remember, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is a similar kind of the things. No, तो ये commutative नहीं होता है. कुछ केस में हो सकता है, which depends upon the elements, right? But not always. So we say this is not the commutative. And similarly, we may define the Cartesian product of the more than two elements also. Power set. What is power set?
Set of all sets.
Power set of A is the set of all subsets of A, and it is denoted by capital P A, including both phi and A. क्योंकि जब हम power set की बात करते हैं, तो it means we are supposed to collect all the subsets, and phi or the set itself always a subset of the set A. Okay, so always remember power set is including all the subset of a set. Power set of phi is the set phi. What is power set of phi? What is the meaning of what is the difference between the phi and the element within the bracket, that is phi? Is there both are same? दोनों same होता है क्या?
Yes, ma'am.
Same होता है sir?
No, ma'am. Same.
No, ma'am.
अच्छा, if I am writing individually phi, what is the cardinal number of that?
0.
0. If I am writing phi within the bracket, what is the cardinal number?
1.
Yes?
1.
So this is the difference between both the things. If I'm writing only phi, it means that is a null set, okay? But if I'm writing phi within the bracket, it means there is a single element. This is a single set, singleton set sometimes we say, because the order is 1. Okay, so power set of 1. तो देखिए phi जो है वो सभी में आ रहा है ना, because phi is always a set, subset of any of the set, subset of any of the set. So phi or that set itself, we are always supposed to take it. तो power set की जो हम बात करेंगे, यदि phi है तो power set का में एक element exist करेगा, पावर्स और आपका एक सिंगलटन सेट है तो हमेशा पावर सेट में दो एलिमेंट्स एग्जिस्ट करेंगे, लाइक phi and 1 here is written, and similarly we may find for the others also. We can extend the element and power set can be written for all those. Addition in a binary operation, that is associative, which means that most of the time we use these brackets, are permitted anywhere but required nowhere. So as such we may write A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 like, because जब हम addition की बात कर रहे होते हैं तो it means that is a associativity भी exist करती है वहाँ पर. So we may write in a summation form. So these small things we always use, even sometimes the series form में भी आपको लिखा हुआ मिल सकता है. The variables k is the index. K shows means हम 1 to n ले रहे हैं. It may be the infinite also, 1 to infinity, that goes for the infinite series. The expression ak is the general term of the series. The values below and above the summation symbol are the initial index and the terminal index. जो starting को होता है, जैसे हमने k equals to 1 2 लिखा तो k equals to 1 हो गया initial index, and k equals to n हो हो गया टर्मिनल इंडेक्स. ओके, अनदर एसोसिएटिव बाइनरी ऑपरेशन इज द मल्टीप्लिकेशन भी होता है. द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ एलिमेंट्स a1 a2 an इज रिटन इन द प्रोडक्ट नोटेशन. तो उसे भी हम इस फॉर्म में लिख सकते हैं. यहाँ पर हम समीशन की जगह आपका जो पेरेंथेसिस वाला जो सिंबल होता है, यूजुअली आपको सिंबॉलिक सिंबल्स में ये मिलेगा. हियर आल्सो यू आर सपोज टू मेक द इनिशियल इंडेक्स एंड द टर्मिनल इंडेक्स, सो दैट वी मे नो अप टू व्हाट term we are supposed to make the multiplication. Here some of the small operations given to you so that you can use it. Yes, the next is distributive law. If you can find a general formula for the following two expressions by looking at the cases where n equals to 2 and drawing the Venn diagram. Can we draw the Venn diagram for these? Yes, please let me know. हम वेन डायग्राम बना सकते हैं किसी भी ऑपरेशन के लिए, यस और नो? किसी भी एक्सप्रेशन के लिए बना सकते हैं या नहीं?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
कुछ ऐसी छोटी छोटी एक्सरसाइजेस ना जो आपकी प्रिलिमिनरीज पे डिपेंड कर रही है, आई विल शेयर विद यू. आप उसे अपने नोटबुक में प्लीज करिएगा. हाँ, सो दिस वाज फॉर टुडे. यू वांट टू आस्क समथिंग बिकॉज इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास मैं इससे थोड़ा सा एक्सटेंड करेंगे, हम प्रोबेबिलिटी पे आएंगे. लेकिन जब प्रोबेबिलिटी की बात करते हैं, आई वांट टू मेक अ स्मॉल इंट्रोडक्शन अबाउट द प्रोबेबिलिटी, क्योंकि हम जब कल स्टार्ट करेंगे तो सेट थ्योरी उसमें हमारे बहुत काम आएगी. क्योंकि जब हम प्रोबेबिलिटी स्टार्ट करते हैं तो सबसे पहले हम क्या डिफाइन करते हैं? वी ऑलवेज डिफाइन द इवेंट, राइट? वी ऑलवेज डिफाइन द वी शुड से event and the occurrence of the events, trials,
Possible outcomes,
right? So these things all are depending upon the sets. क्योंकि जब हम probability बताएंगे तो हमें set theory पूरा अच्छे से आना चाहिए. set theory का जो elementary properties है वो हमें आना चाहिए. Then only we will be able to define the probability, the rules of the probabilities like addition law, multiplication law and all. Okay. So do you want to ask something in the set theory, because by tomorrow we will be starting the classical approach of the probability theory. You want to ask something beta? किसी को भी कुछ भी पूछना है तो आप पूछिए. Any one of you may raise your hands and may ask. आपका आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रहा. I'm not able to understand. कुछ नेटवर्क इशू है शायद.
मैम लेक्चर के फाइल्स अपलोड हो जाएंगे ना?
यस, आपको लेक्चर आपको जो कोर्स आउटकम्स के साथ में पूरा जो लेक्चर का हम लोगों ने प्लान किया है वो आपसे शेयर करेंगे. फाइल्स में मैं अपलोड कर दूंगी. ठीक है,
थैंक यू मैम.
कोर्स स्ट्रक्चर भी होगा उसमें, साथ में बुक्स का भी रिलेटेड बुक्स एंड एवरीथिंग. बट आई टेल यू, आप थोड़ा ना प्रोबेबिलिटी स्टार्ट कर दीजिए पढ़ना. आपको पास जो बुक हो, आजकल बहुत सारी बुक्स अवेलेबल होती है, नेट पे भी अवेलेबल होती हैं. यदि आप थोड़ा बहुत, इवन आपके पास कुछ बिगिनर्स की बुक्स हो प्रोबेबिलिटी थ्योरी से रिलेटेड, तो दोज आल्सो यू मे स्टार्ट. क्योंकि जो स्टार्टिंग का बेस है, that is quite important. If we can understand that approach, that will definitely help us to understand the random variables and distribution theory and sampling theory. So please start that. अपनी तरफ से आप थोड़ा बहुत start करिए, so that you may ask your question in the class immediately. Okay, this was from my side today. Let's meet tomorrow in the next class. Take care, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, all of you. Take care.